Hello, everybody. Welcome to Amazing You podcast and YouTube channels, the channels with stories of resilience, triumph, and unwavering hope come to life. And in each episode, we dive into the inspiring journey of individuals who have faced the toughest challenges heads on and emerge victorious. Our aim is to be a beacon of inspiration, offering a guiding light to those navigating through difficult times. And whether you are dealing with health challenges, professional setbacks, or personal struggles, this channel is dedicated to uplifting your spirit and showing you that even in the darkest moments, there is a path to hope and triumph. So join me, everybody, as we share powerful stories that transcend adversity, reminding you that resilience is a force within us all. So please be prepared and to find the strength to navigate life challenges. So I would like to say a huge thank you to those who have been listening and watching the podcast and the YouTube channel. So thank you so much. And please continue to like, watch, share, and subscribe. And for anybody who is new, very warm welcome. And please enjoy and watch all the previous videos as well. So I am your host, everyone. My name is Dr. Rani Thanacoody. I am a clinical hypnotherapist, Mars Venus life and relationship coach, breathwork coach, astrologer, tarot reader, past life regression practitioner, and life force compassion practitioner. Today, I am super excited to introduce you to a very special lady that I met and that I have experienced some of her sessions. And I told her that I would love for her to be on the podcast. Her name is Audrey Rose. Audrey is an Amazon best-selling author, spiritual business mentor, creator of the Temple of Light, Healing Lineage, and founder of Solaria, a soul-aligned business platform where she helps visionary entrepreneurs build 5D businesses by combining multidimensional energy work, soul technology, and practical strategy. Very warm welcome, Audrey, to Amazing You.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here with you today. Thank you for having me.
You are very welcome. It is such an honor to host you on the platform, Audrey. After what I've experienced during your sessions, I say people need to know about this incredible lady, about the work that she's doing outside. So thank you for taking the time today to talk to the audience and to share your story, your journey.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited to share all of the journey stories.
Please, let's kick in and get started with the first question. If you would please share with us briefly about your story.
Oh, briefly about my story. Well, I I don't even know where to begin. I guess I will start backwards. So,
Mm,
I currently am a what I like to refer as a 5D spiritual business mentor. I help entrepreneurs to get clarity on their soul purpose. And even if they're not entrepreneurs, I just help women get clear on their soul purpose. And then from there, sometimes that is creating a business. And if it is, then what I do is help them get clear on what their soul mission looks like as the essence of their work and how that portrays into their offers and how they support people in the work that they do. And so I have, as somebody who spent the majority of her life wishing that she wasn't here, basically,
right.
I was able to take a lot of the pain and agony that I had endured as a child growing up, of
Mm,
just feeling lost in my own world and not sure what my purpose was, and just really feeling like homesick for a place that isn't here, right? I would look up at the
mm.
stars and just feel like, oh, I just want to go back. And so oftentimes I would, as a child, just pray every
Mm,
night to just go, like, just can I go back if I'm a good girl, right? And so Having gone through all of that for years, like I'm talking over 40 years, going through all of the feelings of just feeling lost.
Yeah.
I always joke in a way where I say, and I'm quite dramatic because as a child I wanted to be an actress, but I always say it feels like I am on my hands and knees traveling through like waist deep mud in the dark with the blindfold on, trying to find my way to the end of this maze. And then once I figured out what what I discovered, remembered actually is the word to use. Once I remembered who I am, why I'm here, my soul purpose, all of that, it felt like I had made my way to the edge of this maze where I got to fully stand up, take off my blindfold, and I got to watch the most beautiful sunrise. And it felt like this pure joy of like, this is the whole point. And once I discovered that for myself by connecting to my own soul self and, redefining what it meant to be human in my own experience and becoming, the person that I decided before I came to Earth that I was going to be. And through that challenge of the journey, to come out and be like, now I'm the person who helps other women. I work predominantly with women who helps other women sift through the mud, find and connect to their soul mission, and then live a life from the heaven that you get to create from your own, just by simply saying, yes, I want to stay, I want to be here, and I'm going to make this life feel magical every day.
That's incredible. Thank you for sharing this, Audrey, because very often when we are in the mud, we can't see the light because we are so deep in the mud. I would love for you to tell us, what did you do for you to clear the mud so that you could remember who you really are and what's your purpose, your soul purpose?
So for me, it wasn't so simple. I had a series of highs and lows in terms of feeling directly on my spiritual path, directly on the journey of which I am, here for self-discovery. And then it felt like things would happen. And I went through moments where I'm like, what is the point of all of this? It's like I'd meditate, I would journal, and I would, do the artist way a million times and feel like that was the answer that I was going to connect. And it wasn't. Because for me, my own experience, that was still me searching outside of myself. The journaling and the meditation in that moment of my life, those moments of my life, were me trying to connect with something outside of me. My idea of meditation was to be quiet so that I can try to hear what the voice of God. For me, it was just try to hear anything, right? And so I was meditating to try to listen to what would come through. I was journaling to see if I could hear what would come through. And I was constantly seeking from a place of outside. I was reading the books, right? I was, again, searching for something outside of me. So it wasn't until where I live in the States, we had a bad hurricane come through. I live in South Carolina. In Greenville, we had a really bad hurricane come through where we didn't have power for about a little, I think it was like a week, 10 days, something like that.
Wow.
Something, I don't even remember at this point, but it was during that time where it was kind of like my whole identity at that time was wrapped up in my business. And back then I was strictly just doing business coaching. I was a spiritual person, but I was just doing business coaching, which I now refer to as like the 3D business coaching, where it's just very much, this is your strategy and this is how you launch it. And these are the dates and these are the checklists that you're going to have, right? Like just very, very much physical body type stuff. And so when we had that hurricane, I just had this, I don't even know I can't even explain it. It was just a moment of, I'm ready to get back in and start searching again. Because at that point, I had felt like the meditation and the journaling was me just going through the motions. Wasn't actually connecting. I wasn't actually, I don't know, it just felt empty. It felt like it was something that I was doing on autopilot without depth. And it was in that moment when the hurricane hit, and it was kind of like this, it was dark. We didn't have electricity. But it was kind of this moment where it was like, there really has to be more than this. And I was on a mission to find it. The fire in my soul was so lit up and so hot and ready to find what is the purpose of all of this? What is the meaning of all of this? And so for me, I can't really say it was one thing per se. It was a series, right? Like your journey was a series of a bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately what the pivotal point for me was the decision that I was not going to stop until I found it. And so for me, I ended up hiring support. I hired a spiritual mentor
Okay.
with the intention that I know I have abilities. I know at that point, I already knew I was a medium. I already knew that I had psychic abilities, but I knew that I could channel. I had done it once before where I had spoken with the Council of Light. And I was like, I told her, I was like, I want to channel again. I started reading the books about channeling. And I even had a girlfriend who, she was like, Audrey, you channel all the time. Like, you could write your own book on channeling. You don't need that book. I didn't have the courage or confidence in myself at that point. I still felt like I was dipping my toe in the water. And once I hired a spiritual mentor, and I think I had been working with her for about 4 months,
Mm-hmm.
and I just started channeling one day in March this year, where I was just like, my intention right now is to go through and go channel. And I have this specific place that I go to that was the inner temple. At that point, I didn't even have the inner temple. It was just a room that I went to in my meditations. And everything changed from being in a meditation to connect to something outside of me to being in meditation to connect to me,
Mm.
into me, my soul self,
Yes.
self discovery, soul discovery. Like all of that changed when I decided that I was the answer. And it
Mm.
was something within me that I was searching for. The answers were only going to come from that place. And so, yes, I hired a spiritual mentor to help me navigate because I was just so in my head that I didn't even know where to begin. And so she guided me through a series of visualizations and meditations and that sort of stuff to really help me discover what it means to sit quiet with yourself and to go inwards. Like people say that, but I didn't really know what that meant. I had no idea. And so once I did that, I decided today's the day I'm going to start channeling. And I did. I started channeling. I met with the Lyran High Council and the Council of Light. And then I ended up little by little, things started revealing to me in my meditations where I now have this beautiful temple that I go to. It looks like a crystal castle. Like it's this beautiful inner temple space where I started going every day and then come to realize, oh, that's my soul. That's just my soul self. That's me coming home to myself. And within that, I created, an inner chamber that I remembered my healing modality, which you've actually had a couple of sessions now with the Elarien Frequency inside the Temple of Light. And all of these probably just sound like big words, and I'm not really even sure. The only thing that matters is that once you make the decision to come home to yourself,
Mm.
and you have this burning desire within you that nothing will stop you, nothing can stop you, and you decide and make the choice and choose your choice every single day, that's when things start to align. Your frequency shifts, your alignment to what is meant for you suddenly becomes more open, and it's a beautiful place to be when you can finally just connect deeply to your own self and you just kind of want to be there for a while. You're like, I don't even want to explore what this temple looks like. I just want to be with my soul self because this feels like I honestly was like, this feels like winning the lottery. Like it felt so incredibly good in a way where it's almost hard to put into words other than if you could imagine the elation and joy that you would feel of winning, millions and millions of dollars from the lottery. It's the only thing I can think of to compare it is how it truly feels.
Thank you, Audrey, but I think it is even better than that because
Yeah,
I've
you're probably right.
experienced it. It's a bliss, it's a pure love and joy that is, I would say, indescribable, difficult to explain, that you cannot get in this world because it's so pure. It's so
Mhm.
pure. It's so comforting. It's so loving,
Yeah,
and it's like it really brings you back to the source. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
It. Everybody, you have to experience what I'm talking. It's not that. we are just saying things, but it is such a deep connection to the soul and to the source. It's beautiful. It's really, really deep, beautiful work, and it's so worth it. Thank you for sharing that, Audrey. And for people who might be listening or watching today who do not know what is the Council of Light, would you please give us a bit of an explanation, please?
So, for me, my experience of the Council of Light, I've met with them. So, the first time I met with them, and I say met with them, it doesn't even feel like the right term. The first time they revealed themselves to me, I think is the words to use, I guess, because I didn't go searching for them. I didn't even know who or what they were. And I remember being in meditation and seeing this spiral stairs. So I was in this room, and at this point, it was a room that's in my temple, but the temple wasn't revealed to me first. The room was there first. This was in 2020, I think 3-ish or something. And I'm in this room, and this is like the room that I refer to as my higher self room, which is the room that I would go to and speak with my higher self or my guides. And then one day, a spiral staircase appeared. I was like, well, that's weird. Of course I'm going to go. Where does that go? And then it opens up to how do I say this? It's like a golden archway, but there's a door that's actually the door is not like a normal door. The door actually looks like an archway that is the door. It's hard to explain. And when I opened it, when I first saw it, it was a room that literally brought me to what I would refer to as my imagination would show me as heaven. I was just in the clouds. I have two versions of heaven. I have a version of heaven that is like very light and clouds and just, it's the blue sky and clouds. And then the other version of heaven to me is just dark, where we're just all little light beings, just kind of floating around. If you could imagine like our souls being just stars that are just kind of all around. So anyway, so I open up this door and I see, but I'm in like a building because I can tell that I went upstairs and I'm in this like square like room, but the room doesn't have any walls, but the walls that it does have are like see-through because I wasn't just like outside. And so I go up and I open the door and I'm just in this giant cloud room. And then I see what looks like a giant like CEO members type of what is it called? Table. And it's just this giant table that's there. And I'm like, okay, this is strange. And so then all of a sudden, what appears in front of me is like 6 or 7 lights.
Okay.
6 or 7, like what I would imagine souls look like is just like lightning bugs almost. I don't see human bodies. I don't see figures. I just see these like lights. And I intuitively know that these are beings. And all of a sudden, I remember saying, show me what you look like, because that to me is part of my process to make sure that the things that I am seeing are of pure light.
Yes.
And so what I saw was still the light being, but then it was like this pillar of white that was like dressed in this like cloak of whiteness that I could only imagine as being like a wizard of some kind that is like just a pure white light, right? And so then I said, okay, show me what your physical body looks like. And they ended up showing me a physical body that looked like a puppet that was like a doctor or something. It was very strange. And they said, this is only for you so that you can put a face to the body, but this is what we really look like. And then it was just back to the light. And I was like, okay. So then they started talking to me. I could not even tell you what the message was at that time. I don't remember. But the whole point of it was for me to talk to the Council of Light, and how I interpret it is these are beings of light that, and at that time I was like, I don't know who these beings are. What are you? And I kept hearing Council of Light and the Council of One. And it was like this collective oneness. But basically what I gathered from this, and when I still talk to them, is they are just a collective of higher dimensional light beings
Yes.
that are here to guide those who can connect with them
Mm,
to for me it's messages of believing myself.
mhm.
It's messages of what is my next step, what am I supposed to be doing, that sort of stuff. So when I'm speaking to and connecting to the Council of Light, the messages that are coming through are often things that I'm supposed to do to step fully into my soul mission, to the bring in and anchor in the light that I am here to bring. So for me, I don't talk to them very often. I see them almost as like a privilege to talk to.
Okay.
And the Council of Light and the Lyran High Council are kind of one of the same, but the Lyran High Council to me, Lyran High Council to me is more of like, I think about it as if it's like those are like the councils or like the not that there isn't political there, but like the political people of that star cluster or that star race, and
Mm.
that is essentially their representatives. And then they come, and then the Council of Light to me is more so of a representation of all of the other council or beings that are here to essentially help humans on Earth raise the consciousness.
Mm.
So
Thank you
that's
for
that's what that's how
thank
my interpretation. I'm sure other people have other interpretations. And the thing is too is I know and realize that my connection with divine beings,
mm,
because my purpose is going to be different from other people's. So my relationship, my interpretation and my conversations may be very different. But for me overall, they're just here to help me anchor in more light and help more people to fully step into their light as well.
yes, thank you so much for sharing that because the way you've described them, I've known other channelers who have encountered them and have mentioned that they are light. They don't
Yeah.
have any physical form, but for us human, we need sometimes a physical form, though, then they would show us in a physical form, they would appear.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, the big table as well. So it's not your imagination, for people who are listening, it's not Audrey's imagination, but they do exist in a higher realm. But because of our density on Earth, we can't see them yet. We can't, but we will one day once we start to raise our vibration and do the inner work. So because they are always there, and if they come to people, people will be scared now because we are not ready for them. Many people are not ready. So until we are ready, then we will see them because people who have done the work, they are already being able to connect with them, like you, Audrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is that's really interesting too is like when I say that we talk,
Mm-hmm.
there's no words exchanged. It's literally them just it's like it's the communication is telepathic. And so I never hear their voices. There's no voices or any of that sort of stuff. It's literally just it's like transmission of thoughts that land into my awareness that I am able to translate into words. But if I look at the actual like look past it and look at the language as it's coming in, the language doesn't have like there's it's not words. It's almost just like frequency, like sound. It's very interesting. It's very sometimes when I think too far into it like that, I'm just like, okay, my human brain has a hard time computing, and that's why sometimes I'm like, I need to see what you would look like in the like in the now. Like the human brain needs to put a face or a picture or image to it, and my image was a puppet doctor from Fraggle Rock back in the day, which is a TV show here that I used to watch as a child. And so, but then I was like, okay, now show me what you really look like, and then that's when it was like, yeah, we're just like very interesting.
Super interesting. I would say thank you for sharing that because I was talking to a friend and we were talking about telepathy, and I say, I was listening to a lot of channelers speaking, sharing their views, and they were saying that what they saw in the future that we would be communicating through telepathy. That will be the frequency, that will be the language of the future. So,
Exactly.
yes, and many people don't understand, but it's like you said, it's communicating through the thoughts, and we can practice that. If we can practice that, and we will. if we send information through our thoughts, people will receive it. Out of the blue, you will see a text message from that person that you were just thinking of, you know? So it is so powerful. But all this will come as we do the work. That's when we discover this beautiful gift of telepathy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you share that because it's something I've been discussing with a friend, and I'm happy that you shared so that the audience is aware as well that telepathy does exist. It's not something that is just woo woo, you know. It is a the language of the future. Yeah, thank you. And Audrey, there's so many things to ask you, but interesting things to discuss with you. But one other thing I would like to talk about is you are an author. And can you share with us how did your journey as an author influence the way you guide spiritual entrepreneurs today?
So actually, it doesn't at all. And that's crazy, but it doesn't. So the book that I wrote was actually a chapter in a collective book,
Okay.
and that was part of a program that I was a part of. And I wrote the chapter basically of my life at that point, and this was back in 2000 and I want to say 18 or 19. And so I wrote a chapter about, how I thought about when I was born, and how I always felt like I didn't belong here. And, it was just part of my story that the book came to life. And so what I will say is that it doesn't really, I don't know how to explain this. It doesn't really change anything about what I do, like the work that I do. But what I will say is there is another book coming, and
Okay.
that does. So another book that I want to create is a book all of my own. This book will be called Permission to Stay. And essentially what this book will end up being, a movement of helping humans to gain the courage to stay here on Earth. Because for me,
Mm-hmm.
I had a full lifetime of wanting to not be here. And I refer to it as hitting the eject button.
Yes.
And so I had experienced many, many moments and times where the depression and the anxiety of just
Mm-hmm.
being human, was feeling like it was too much.
Yeah.
And so for me, this book is a passion project, deeply passionate about, because I didn't hit the eject button. I am still here. And I'll never forget my birthday this year. It was the first year of my birthday where I kind of looked back at my life and was like, I could have missed this. I almost missed all of this. I'm going to start to get emotional now. And so for me, Permission to Stay is a movement to help humans know and understand that life here can be so much bigger and better than you could ever even imagine. And it all starts with the decision and creating the choice for yourself that you're going to stay no matter what. And so for me, that looks like giving myself permission to stay. And for me, that was giving myself permission to feel safe in my body. That looked like giving myself permission to be happy, because for things that happened in my childhood, I've often felt like a burden. My body felt like a burden. I was frustrated with the human experience. Everything was loud and noisy, and I could feel people's emotions. I could feel people's thoughts sometimes. And so for me growing up, being that very, 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 very sensitive child, it was too much. It was hard. It was very difficult. And I didn't have the emotional intelligence and skills to understand and know the difference between I'm feeling my emotions versus I'm actually feeling my mom's emotions and my dad's emotions. And I'm feeling the overwhelm of the collective, or I'm feeling whatever that was. And so for me, that is the reason why life felt very difficult at times, was because I was feeling everything all at once. And so for me, once I was able to again connect and anchor in my soul self within myself, that's when everything really changed. And that's when I was talking to my spiritual mentor, and we were sharing, I was sharing with what was going on in that moment. And in the very beginning, I was sharing with her that oftentimes I feel like my body is a burden, being human is a burden.
Mm.
And I felt that way because I was adopted. And my adoption story kind of starts with me being, as a dramatically way to say it, kidnapped by my birth mother from my biological father, and then taken across the country, and then basically left at the babysitter's house.
Mm.
And so I felt like abandoned. I wasn't wanted. And
Yeah.
so, and then the babysitter ended up adopting me and raising me. And so I just had this constant overwhelming feeling of being like, I shouldn't be here. I'm not wanted. I'm a
Yeah.
burden. I have to be quiet so that the babysitter doesn't, want to like, take me back, whatever. And the
Mm.
babysitter, who was my mom now, who adopted me, I absolutely like, there was no taking me back. She wanted me from the very beginning. But anyways, and so there's just always been this feeling of like, I'm a burden. My
Mm.
life exists, my existence is a burden, my body's a burden, everything. And so once I got and I shared that with my spiritual mentor, and she was like, Audrey, your body's not a burden. Your body's not betraying you, it's protecting you. And it was like that was the permission that I needed to stay. And in that moment is when the idea of permission to stay started. And it was like, oh my gosh, everything in my entire world and my entire life shifted from that point where being here wasn't a burden, it was a gift. And so for me, that's part of my mission and my passion. And that's what that book will be, is a declaration for humans everywhere
Yeah.
that, you get to make your life as grand or as not grand as you want it to be, simply by just choosing and choosing your choice, making a choice and then choosing your choice over and over again. And I won't go into detail about all the like frequency thinking and all of that sort of stuff that I've done to transform my deep dark thoughts into the
Yeah.
light that you see here today, because
Yes.
that's a whole other thing. But
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it all starts with, for me, it was the decision and the choice to choose my choice and give myself the permission slip that I felt like I needed to say, you know what, I choose to stay and I choose to be happy. And I'm going to make it that my life and my mission.
Audrey, thank you for being vulnerable, for sharing your story, your journey. It's very, very inspiring for anybody who is listening or watching, who I'm sure so many people these days are going through so much stuff and do not want to be here. Life is not easy on earth. You are, we are all very brave souls to come at this specific time. It's not easy, but when we stay and we do the work and we go within, life is a huge transformation. It's much more joy, much more happiness. And I love the title of the book, Giving Ourselves the Permission to Stay, because it's so easy to give the permission to exit and to go, because it's so dense, so heavy here. And as empath, as sensitive beings, so many children I've talked to are very, very sensitive and feel everything, all the energies like you felt of our mother, father, everybody. And they don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
So it's great that you can feel that. That's a gift of feeling, because if you can feel, you can heal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of my teachers used to say that. So, Audrey, thank you so much for sharing that. It's such a valuable point, that whoever is listening know that you are not alone. If you can just hear what Audrey just experienced, is just know that you are very courageous to be here at this time, and you can
Yeah.
transcend from anything that keeping you in a low frequency. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And Audrey, I would like to say congratulations. I'm really excited for your book. And do you have any other projects in the pipeline that you would like to share with us?
I Right now, I am working on launching my own business platform, actually. I'm referring to it and calling it a 5D business platform. It's an all in one business system that essentially helps entrepreneurs. I work with female spiritual visionaries, creators, healers, helps them to create their business, basically create the essence of their soul mission as a business. So helping them to, I do business mentoring where I help them create their offers and really like connect. I have this system that I use. It's called the embodied offer method. And essentially what it does is it helps women to connect to their own soul self, helps them connect to the soul of their business, and then helps them connect to their offers as an
Mhm.
extension of their soul mission. Is the essence of the work that they're here to do. And so I guide women into this process where I help them then create the offers. And so I can help them from the aspect of what is, your mission and what wants to be brought through. And then now let's create it in the physical 3D world. Let's create the offers, the funnels, the back end tech, like the communities, all of that. And so I've been doing that for 6 or 7 years, maybe even longer, 2000, I think 17, 16, 18. I don't even know, for a very long time. And so it just makes sense to have my own platform where I'm able to essentially just help women launch their own programs. Because the way that I look at it is I am, and I have this saying that I am the embodied lighthouse. And so the work that I do is I am here to anchor in my own light, my own frequency. And then I am here to help you do the same by finding your light and by amplifying your voice and your frequency and helping you to take whatever your soul mission is and bottle it up and then help you go help other people. And so by me doing my work and helping you do your work, it's this ripple that gets to happen where I just help women create the businesses in the soul aligned, whatever that is, that they go on and help other people in whatever capacity that is. So through business coaching and mentorship, and through helping them with the back end tech, the front end beautiful pages, all of that sort of stuff. So right now we are in the process of launching that, and her name is Solaria. And the URL is joinsolaria.io, and it is a beautiful space that I am so excited to share because a lot of women get overwhelmed with the tech part of, getting their mission out there. And so I aim to create tech, allow you to look at tech in a completely different way.
Oh, thank you, Audrey. That's fabulous because it can be quite challenging at times for some
Yes.
people to get to do all these things by themselves and having somebody who can help them, but at the same time aligning themselves with their business and their soul mission. And I think that's very, very powerful.
Yeah.
Uh, So where can our listeners connect with you? Or do you have other platforms where they can learn more about your work, explore your programs? Audrey, would you
Yeah.
like to share with us?
Yeah. So my website where you can find me is audreyrose.me. And then on Instagram, I am the embodied creator with periods in between. So the period embodied period creator. And the embodied creator is a program that I have, and it's also who I am. So through the way that I work with women, it is awaken her, activate her, embody her, and then create with her. And so it's kind of the phases that I go through with like the framework that I work with women. And so the embodied creator just kind of took over as my alter identity, as who I become. But yeah, those are the places where you can find me.
That's awesome, Audrey. Audrey, thank you so much. Your links will appear below and people can reach out to you and it will appear on your bio on all the platforms. So all your links will be there too. So I
Thank
would
you.
like to wish you a huge success with your books and your programs, Audrey. And it's been really an honor hosting you and having you as my therapist who helped me. It's been beautiful to experience that. I am so, so glad. It has really helped me on my journey. And keep shining your light. And to everybody, I would like to say thank you for watching, sharing, and subscribing. And remember that you are amazing. You have always been amazing, and you always will be amazing. So take care, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.